Hey G Sutra fam, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're tackling something you guys be asking for a lot, how to really grow our channel. We're going to be taking some tips from Alex Hormozi. This guy went from just selling gym memberships to building multiple businesses. And he's learned a lot about attracting an audience, so we're going to break it all down so we can apply it to G Sutra.
Yeah. Alex lays out what he calls the core 4 strategies for getting more leads. Think of these as the foundation of how to grow your audience. Warm outreach, content creation, cold outreach, and paid advertising.
So warm outreach, does that mean like reaching out to our current subscribers and viewers?
Yeah.
Because that feels a lot less intimidating than starting completely cold.
You got it. Warm outreach is all about working with people you already have some connection with. Like your subscribers, anyone who's commented on your videos, or even people who just like to post on social media. They're all part of your warm audience. And the key is to make sure you're personalizing your message to them. Alex found that even mentioning something small that you know about them, like what kind of dog they have, can really improve how much they respond. So imagine sending a message to a subscriber and saying, "Hey, I saw you're a fellow golden retriever owner. Thought you might find this video about dog training helpful." That little personal touch makes a big difference.
Makes sense. People like to feel like you actually know them. So how about content creation? What can we do to pull people in?
Alex has a great framework for this. Hook, retain, reward. First, you got to hook them with a really good headline or an opening that makes them want to click. So something like the one YouTube secret nobody talks about, or 3 mistakes that are tanking your subscriber count. Then, once you have them, you need to keep their attention by giving them valuable content and making it engaging and easy to understand. So things like listicles, stories, clear steps, all that good stuff. And then the reward. What are people getting out of watching your video? Maybe a new skill, the solution to a problem, or just a good laugh.
So basically, we need to treat our content like a mini-series. Get them hooked, keep them entertained, and leave them feeling satisfied.
Exactly. Think about the videos you enjoy watching. They probably all have those same elements.
Okay, now let's talk about cold outreach. I gotta say, this one always felt kind of scary to me. How do you approach people you don't even know?
I hear you. But cold outreach can work really well if you do it right. One of the biggest things Alex talks about is having a killer lead magnet. It's got to be something so good that your ideal viewer can't help but want to sign up. He actually talks about how he struggled with cold outreach at first. He was offering these game planning sessions, but people weren't really that interested. Then he switched to a better offer, and that's when things started working.
So it's not just about reaching out. You have to be reaching out with something people actually want. What are some examples of lead magnets that would work for G Sutra?
Well, think about the problems that your ideal viewer is facing. Could you offer like a free downloadable checklist? Maybe something like the ultimate checklist for starting a YouTube channel, or 5 proven scripts for YouTube video intros. The key is to make sure it's valuable and that it solves a real problem they have.
That's a good point. We need to think about what would actually be helpful for them.
Exactly. And once you have a good lead magnet, it's all about reaching out to people the right way. Think about it like this. You wouldn't barge into someone's house unannounced and start pitching them on G Sutra, right? It's the same thing online. You have to be respectful, personalize your message, and offer something valuable. It's like you're inviting them in, not giving them a sales pitch.
I'm starting to see how this could actually be less icky than I thought. And Alex mentioned something about being persistent. What did he mean by that?
Yeah, he tells this story about a dog trainer who would follow up with potential clients like crazy across all these different channels. He'd send emails, make calls, and even stop by their houses. Of course, he had their permission first. I mean, that might sound a little extreme, but the point is that persistence pays off. Don't just send one email and give up. Keep nurturing those leads, provide value, and follow up regularly.
Okay, so warm outreach is about leveraging existing connections. Content creation is about hooking, retaining, and rewarding. And cold outreach is about offering a great lead magnet and being persistent. Now, what about the last one? Paid advertising. I got to admit, I'm a little nervous about this one. I've heard horror stories about people spending a ton of money on ads and getting nothing back.
I get it. Paid advertising can be scary, especially when you hear about those bad experiences. But it can also be a game changer if you do it right. The key is to be strategic about it, just like any other investment you'd make.
So how do we avoid those money pit situations?
First things first, set a budget and stick to it. Decide how much you're comfortable spending, and don't go crazy. Then look into different advertising platforms like YouTube ads or Google ads. See which one fits best with your goals and your target audience. Don't just use whatever platform everyone else is using.
Right, we need to be smart with our money.
Exactly. And one of the biggest mistakes Alex made early on was not really understanding his target audience. He ended up wasting a ton of money on ads that were shown to the wrong people. So before you even think about launching a campaign, you need to know exactly who your ideal viewer is, what are their demographics, their interests, their problems, what they want to achieve. Once you know who you're talking to, you can tailor your ads to actually resonate with them.
So it's not just about finding any people, it's about finding the right people.
Exactly. And once you have your target audience figured out, you can start exploring different targeting options. Platforms like YouTube and Google let you target based on demographics, interests, even what people have watched before. It's really powerful if you know how to use it.
Okay, so targeted ads, a clear budget, and knowing our audience. Anything else we should keep in mind?
Definitely. Don't forget to track your results. What's the point of running ads if you don't know if they're working? Keep an eye on your metrics, test out different ad creatives and copy, and change your strategy based on the data. It's all about constantly improving.
Got it. Data is king. So we've covered the core four: warm outreach, content creation, cold outreach, and paid advertising. But you mentioned lead getters earlier. What are those exactly?
Think of lead getters as your secret weapon. They're the things that multiply your efforts.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
First up, we have referrals. One of the best kinds of marketing is word of mouth. When someone recommends your channel to a friend, it means way more than any ad ever could. So how do you encourage those referrals? You got to incentivize your viewers to spread the word.
So something like, tell a friend, get a discount.
Exactly. Or you could have contests, challenges, or offer special bonuses to people who refer new subscribers. Get creative and make it fun.
Love it. What else?
Next, we have employees. If you have a team, they can be your biggest supporters. Encourage them to share your videos on social media, talk about G Sutra in their conversations, even create content for the channel.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I bet our team would be excited to help out.
Yeah, they already care about your success, so why not use their enthusiasm?
Makes sense. Okay, what about agencies? I've heard mixed things about working with agencies.
Agencies can be tough. Alex actually had a bad experience with an agency at one point. They overpromised and then didn't deliver. But he learned an important lesson from that. Use agencies strategically. Don't just give them total control. Use them for specific tasks or things that you haven't mastered yet.
So like maybe hire an agency to help with video editing or ad optimization, but not give them the keys to our whole channel strategy.
Exactly. They're like specialists. You bring them in for specific projects or to fill in knowledge gaps.
Got it. Strategic partnerships.
Not just outsourcing everything. What about the last one? Affiliates.
Affiliates are basically partners who promote your channel in exchange for a commission or some other reward. So think other YouTubers in your niche, relevant websites, or even influencers who can introduce G Sutra to their audience.
So it's like tapping into their audience and using their credibility.
Exactly. It's a win-win. They get rewarded for promoting you, and you get a whole bunch of new potential viewers. I'm starting to see how all this fits together. We have the core four strategies: warm outreach, content creation, cold outreach, and paid advertising. And then we can boost those efforts with these lead getters: referrals, employees, agencies, and affiliates. It's like a lead-generating machine.
That's it. But remember, you don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to tackle all four core four strategies and every lead getter right away.
So what do you think we should focus on first? What seems like the easiest win for G Sutra?
To be honest, I think revamping your content creation strategy would be a great place to start. You already have a good foundation with G Sutra, but there's always room to improve. Start brainstorming more interesting video ideas. Write those attention-grabbing headlines we talked about, and experiment with different formats, like listicles, storytelling, and clear how-to guides.
Okay, that sounds doable.
Yeah.
We can definitely start working on that right away.
And remember what Alex says about the power of volume. Even if you're starting small, make a consistent content creation schedule and stick to it. Consistency is key. Show up for your audience. Give them value every week, and they'll give you their attention in return.
Got it. Consistency and value. That's our new motto. And as we get more comfortable creating content, we can start exploring those other strategies, like warm outreach, and maybe even try some paid advertising.
Exactly. Think of it as gradually scaling up. Master one thing, then add another. And don't forget about those lead getters. Start getting people thinking about referrals. Maybe have a fun contest. Or offer something extra for viewers who share your videos. And start looking for potential affiliate partners in your niche.
This has been super helpful. I feel like I have a much better plan for growing G Sutra now.
One last thought for you. Alex talks about the power of volume doing more of what works. But what if you applied that same idea to learning? Imagine learning something new about YouTube growth every single day. Think how much faster we could grow.
I love that challenge. It's not just about doing more, it's about learning more too.
Exactly. The more you learn, the better you get. And that's the real key to growing G Sutra exponentially.
That's it for this deep dive. I hope you guys found this as useful as I did. You can always come back to this episode and listen to specific parts again if you need a refresher. And if you have any questions or want to share your own growth strategies, let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep creating great content, keep learning, and keep growing those channels.
He'd even go to their houses, with their permission, of course. It might sound a little crazy, but he's proving a point. That being persistent really works. You can't just send one email and call it a day. You have to keep connecting with those leads, keep giving them valuable stuff, and follow up regularly.
Okay, so warm outreach is about those existing connections. Content creation is about hooking them in, keeping them interested, and giving them something good. And cold outreach is about having an awesome lead magnet and not giving up. What about the last one? Paid advertising. I have to say I'm a little scared of this one. You hear those horror stories about people dumping money into ads and getting zero results?
I know what you mean. Paid advertising can be intimidating, especially when you hear about those bad experiences, but it can also be a total game changer if you know what you're doing. It's all about being strategic, just like with any other investment.
So how do we make sure we don't just throw money away?
First things first, you got to set a budget and stick to it. Decide how much you're comfortable spending and don't go overboard. Then do some research on the different advertising platforms like YouTube ads or Google ads. Figure out which one's the best fit for your goals and who you're trying to reach. Don't just blindly follow the crowd.
Right. We have to be smart about where we're spending our money.
Exactly. One of the biggest mistakes Alex made early on was not really understanding his target audience. He ended up wasting a lot of money because he was showing his ads to the wrong people. So before you even think about launching a campaign, make sure you know exactly who your ideal viewer is, like their age, interests, what their problems are, what they're trying to achieve. Once you know who you're talking to, you can make your ads speak directly to them.
It's about finding the right people, not just any people.
Exactly. And once you've figured out your target audience, you can start looking into different targeting options. Platforms like YouTube and Google let you target people based on all kinds of things, their demographics, interests, even things they've watched before. It's super powerful if you know how to use it.
Okay, so targeted ads, a clear budget, and really knowing our audience. Anything else we should be thinking about?
Oh, definitely. Don't forget to track your results. I mean, what's the point of running ads if you don't know if they're actually working? You got to keep an eye on your metrics. Try different ad creatives and copy. And adjust your strategy based on what the data tells you. It's all about continuously improving.
Got it. Data is king. So we've talked about the core four: warm outreach, content creation, cold outreach, and paid advertising. But earlier you mentioned something about lead getters. Can you explain what those are?
Lead getters are like your secret weapon. They're the things that multiply all your other efforts.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
First up, we have referrals. One of the most powerful forms of marketing is word of mouth. When someone recommends your channel to their friend, it's way more effective than any ad. So how do you get people to refer their friends? You got to incentivize them, give them a reason to spread the word.
So something like a tell a friend, get a discount kind of thing.
Exactly. Or you could do contests, challenges, or offer special bonuses to people who bring in new subscribers. Be creative and make it fun.
I like it. What else?
Next, we have employees. If you have a team, they can be your biggest advocates. Encourage them to share your videos on their social media. Talk about G Sutra with their friends, even create content for the channel.
Oh, that's a great idea. I bet our team would love to get involved.
Right. They're already invested in your success, so why not let them use their enthusiasm?
Makes sense. Okay, what about agencies? I've heard some good things and some bad things about working with agencies.
Yeah, agencies can be tricky. Alex actually had a bad experience with an agency early on. They promised him the world and didn't deliver. But it taught him a valuable lesson. You have to use agencies strategically. Don't give them complete control. Use them for specific tasks or skills that you don't have yourself.
So maybe hire an agency to help with video editing or optimizing our ads, but not let them run our whole channel strategy.
Exactly. Think of them as specialists. You bring them in for specific projects or to fill in any knowledge gaps.
Got it. So it's more like a strategic partnership, not outsourcing everything. Now, what about the last one, affiliates?
Affiliates are basically partners. who promote your channel for you, and in return, they get a commission or some other kind of reward. So think about other YouTubers in your niche, or relevant websites, even influencers who can introduce G Sutra to a whole new audience.
So it's like tapping into their audience and leveraging their credibility.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone. They get rewarded for promoting you, and you get access to a ton of new potential viewers.
I'm really starting to see how all this works together. We have the core 4 strategies: warm outreach, content creation, cold outreach, and paid advertising. And then we can boost all of that with these lead getters: referrals, employees, agencies, and affiliates, like building a machine for generating leads.
You got it. But remember, you don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to tackle all 4 core 4 strategies and every lead getter right away. It's not about trying to do everything at once. You don't have to try all 4 core 4 strategies and every lead getter right away.
So what should we focus on first? What's the easiest win for G Sutra?
Honestly, I think a really good place to start is revamping your content creation strategy. You already have a good base with G Sutra, but we can always make it better. Start brainstorming more engaging video ideas. Write those catchy headlines we talked about. And try different formats, like listicles, storytelling, and clear step-by-step guides.
Okay, that sounds manageable. We can start doing that right away.
And remember, Alex talks about the power of volume, even if you're starting small. Commit to a regular schedule for creating content, and stick to it. Consistency is key. You got to show up for your audience. Give them something valuable every week, and they'll pay attention.
Got it. Consistency and value.
Right.
That's what we're going for. And as we get better at creating content, we can start trying those other strategies, like warm outreach, and maybe even dip our toes into paid advertising.
Exactly. It's like gradually building up, master one thing, then add another. And don't forget about those lead getters. Start thinking about how to get referrals. Maybe create a fun contest. Or offer a bonus for viewers who share your videos. And start looking for potential affiliate partners in your niche.
This has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I have a much clearer plan for growing G Sutra now.
One last thing. Alex talks about the power of volume, doing more of what works. But what if we took that idea and applied it to learning? Imagine learning something new about YouTube growth every single day. Think how much faster we could grow.
I love that idea. It's not just about doing more, it's about constantly learning more, too.
Exactly. The more you learn, the better you become. And that's how you unlock exponential growth for G Sutra.
Well, that's a wrap on another deep dive. Hope you guys found this as helpful as I did. Don't forget, you can always go back and listen to specific parts of this episode again if you need a refresher. And if you have any questions, or if you want to share your own growth strategies, let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep creating amazing content, keep learning, and keep growing those channels.